Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Now I'm surprised that there aren't more videos on the new or refreshed 3060 Ti here on YouTube, but today we're going to be checking out this Zotac gaming version. The 3060 Ti originally launched in very late 2020 with 8 gigs of GDDR6 VRAM. It was hard to find, often selling out within minutes of a restock no matter the model or the retailer. Now though, these GPUs are plentiful and amongst the abundance of listings, I've started seeing a lot more GDDR6X variants. Apparently these upgraded cards started appearing around October 2022, but I've got to be honest and say I didn't notice. This is one of those GDDR6X cards which, compared to your standard GDDR6 3060 Ti, has increased memory bandwidth and a higher TDP. It seems that even on the used market, GDDR6X models are a little more expensive than their OG counterparts, but what do we gain in games? To find out, I've compared this Zotac Twin Edge model to an AFOX GDDR6 version which uses the same on-paper clocks. For our first game then, we have Cyberpunk 2077. Now at the top of your screen you're going to see gameplay from the GDDR6X card, and on the bottom of your screen you're going to see gameplay from the GDDR6 card. Here with the GDDR6X model we're seeing 64 FPS on average, which is 1 frame better on average than the standard GDDR6 card, and the 1 and 0.1% lows also change a tiny bit, but this really isn't going to be noticeable enough to be picked up by your eyeballs in gaming. At least it's not, in my opinion, anyway. Still, this is a really good result for both cards. 1440p with the high settings. Cyberpunk looks fantastic, and there's no major differences here, even in those busier areas. Marvel Spider-Man Remastered next at 1440p with the very high preset. I've stuck with 1440p throughout because the 3060 Ti, no matter what version you get, is still very capable of playing at this resolution. There will be a few modern games where you may have to turn the occasional setting down, perhaps texture settings in some of the latest releases, but that's a story for another day. The very high preset here with the GDDR6X card allowed us to hit 106 FPS on average compared to the 103 produced by the standard GDDR6 card. The 1% low was 71 and the 0.1% low was 60. Again, there are some improvements with this newer or refreshed card when it comes to those figures as well, especially with that 0.1% low. Forza Horizon 5 runs really well at 1440p with Ultra. The GDDR6X card hit 107 FPS on average with a 1% low of 93 and a 0.1% low of 88. Again, these figures are improved across the board with the 6X card here. The average sees the biggest difference of 3 FPS. Well, actually this is matched by the 1% low, a 3 FPS difference here as well, and just 1 FPS in terms of the 0.1% figure. In The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt with the next gen patch applied, we're playing with 1440p and the ultra settings. Any ray tracing is turned off, and so is any form of upscaling, and that goes for every result in this video. Now here we saw a 4 FPS difference with the average in favour of the GDDR6X card. We also saw 3 frames higher for that 1% low in favour of the 6X card again, but the GDDR6 card did ever so slightly better when it came to that 0.1% low. This is sort of within margin of error territory. Finally then we have Red Dead Redemption 2, just a small selection of games today because the story is pretty similar throughout, and it will be in most titles to be honest. Red Dead Redemption 2, 90 FPS on average with a 1% low of 73 and a 0.1% low of 55. The standard GDDR6 card managed 86 FPS on average with a 1% low of 69 and a 0.1% low of 53. So again, some slight differences here. The average and 1% low figures are usually the ones that are affected most, but I don't think, again, this is going to be all that noticeable when actually playing unless you've got an overlay enabled. In busier town areas like Valentine, I noticed the frame rate dropping to the same sort of figure. It was around 80 FPS. It all depends on the pricing where you live, I think. I mean, if it's 40 to 50 pounds more, you might have to consider whether or not the few extra frames is worth it for a GDDR6X card. If the difference is very minimal or non-existent, then it's certainly worth looking out for these newer variants. But right now, as it stands in 2023 anyway, I'd hold on and just wait and see what's coming up later in the year. But if you can find a used market bargain, well, a bargain's still a bargain whenever you can find it. So yeah, I hope this has been helpful anyway, just in case you come across one of these GDDR6X cards and think, I wonder how much of a difference there is. Hopefully this has helped you with that. So if you enjoyed this one, leave a like, leave a dislike if you didn't. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and hopefully I'll see all of you in the next one.